Hello service people, Enrico here. As I'm studying for the Solutions Architect Associate exam, I will share my knowledge during this journey. In this video, I want to explain you the main concept of the IAM service. During the video and towards the end of the video, I want to share also some exercise you can do in order to familiarize with the AWS Policy concept. So let's get started and see what IAM service is and how we can use it, and also all the concepts you need to pass the exam. IAM stands for Identity Access Management, and it's a global service and it's free. Global, you will see that it's global because if you select the service on the AWS console, you will see the region switch to global, and there is not like a specific region as it could be with the EC2 service. And it's free is because it doesn't have any additional costs, so you can use IAM service free of charge. There are four concepts we need to understand in order to use IAM service: users, groups, roles, and policy. Users are end users such as me, your developers, your IT department, your HR department, and when you create a user from the console, it doesn't have any permission, and we're gonna see later on the video how to add permission and how to add a user to a group. You need to understand that it is one special user, let's say. It's not even a user, but it's called root account. The root account is the account that you use when you sign up to the AWS console. It's the one that you use with your email, and it's a good practice. Actually, it's a best practice. I suggest you to do it like as soon as possible to, first of all, remove the access key and access secret of your root account, because it has like administrator privilege. You can do anything on the console, and also to enable the multi-factor authentication for the root account. You will be tested on the exam on how to increase security on the root account, and usually the answers are around enable MFA and delete access key and access secret. Now it's time to explain some concepts while walking through the AWS console. So in order to find the IAM service, I go here, I type IAM, and I navigate through the IAM service. And the first view is basically your IAM dashboard. Here I'm logged with a user, not with the root user. And here you get some security recommendation. It's saying to me, root user has MFA, as I told you. You need to enable multi-factor authentication in order to provide an extra layer of security for your root account. Here is saying to me add MFA also for yourself, which is the user I am logged in with, but maybe I'll do it later. And let's go here. So IAM Resources is saying have 3 user groups, which is basically the groups, have 7 users, 51 roles, 38 policies. These are like these are roles and policies that I have created and users that I have created. So if we go here on users, also from here, we will see the list of my users. If we go on roles, the same thing, and policies, same again. So if we go on users and I want to add a new user, I go here, add users. And here we can type the name of my user, let's say tutorial example user. And the next thing you need to decide is if you want to give them which access tab you want to give them. So one is access key, programmatic access, meaning you're gonna give this user access key ID and secret access key, which is used for like interact with AWS through the API, through the CLI, from the SDK, or from any other third-party tool, like could be serverless framework or any other infrastructure as a code tool, which needs access key and secret access key to interact with AWS. The next one is password, meaning you want to give this user AWS console access, which is the console that I'm using at this moment. So you need to figure out which is the use case for your user and decide which credential type to create. Of course, you can also create both of them. It depends on the use case. In my case, I just want a user who is able to log into the console. So I select console here. You can decide to auto-generate the password, so AWS is going to generate it for you, or to provide a custom password. Then When you create a custom password, you have to basically send him the password with, I don't know, an email or an SMS or whatever you want to send him the password. So I'm gonna auto-generate the password, and also I'm gonna require a password reset when the user is gonna be created. So when he's gonna receive the email with the invitation link, he is required to reset the password. Next we go on permission, and as you can see, AWS tell me, do you want to add this user to a specific group? Here are my available groups. I have my admin group with administrator access, and here I have different groups that are used to do some exercise with AWS. You can also decide to copy permission from an existing user or attach like policy directly. Let's just focus for a second on the policy. As you can see here, we have different type of policy. The one with this little icon, other one managed by AWS. If you overlay here, it's saying to you AWS managed policy. So if you go here, on filter policy, you can decide to, filter the policy based on the ones that you're looking for. In this case, if I want to see the one that I have created, I just choose customer managed. And you will see that I have 38 customer managed policies. In this case, I don't want to add any policy. I just want to leave it without any permission. So I go next, tags. Here, if you want to add, I don't know, customer, let's say, Enrico. Any tag you may need in the future, to identify this user. Next is review. And here is saying to me, the user has no permission, because as we said, every new user doesn't have any permission. You need to give permission by adding the user to a group or by attaching a policy. And here it's fine for me. I'm going to create the user. All right. As you can see, I've created a user. It's giving to me the unique AWS console link to sign in. Here the password is only be displayed once. And here, if I want to send instruction by email, so if I click here, it's going to open my email client and send instruction to the user. So we have created a user on AWS. All right, now let's go on the policies menu and see how they are composed. So I'm going to filter out with the customer managed policies, and I'm going to take a simple one, the one that I've created for another video, the video on how to upload file directly using API Gateway and S3. I'm going to link it here in the description if you are interested. So I select the policy, and as you can see here, here's the JSON summary of the policy. So version, at this time of recording, the only available version is like this one, and it's like, I think this field is used by AWS to understand the version of the JSON file. Really interested about this. And let's go on the statement block. So statement block is composed by this optional field, which is called seed, where you can basically add like a description. And here is the default one, Visual Editor 0, but you can call this one maybe, I don't know, put object in S3 deploy serverless bucket. And then there are the mandatory fields, which are effect, action, and resource. So effect can have allow or deny value. In this case, I'm allowing. I'm creating a policy which allow this action on this resource. So in this case, I am allowing S3 put object action. So the action of uploading an object where inside an S3 bucket. How do I know it's an S3 bucket? Because the resource here is specified by ARN. ARN means Amazon resource name, and it's unique for each of the resources inside AWS. And here is the name of the service is S3, and then the name of the bucket. The name of the bucket is Enrico test deploy server /star. /star means in every object of this bucket. So here, as I said, this policy means you can upload an object inside this bucket. Okay, cool. All right, now I want to show you two additional policies on AWS. This one are created by AWS, so they are managed by AWS, and This one, as you can understand very quickly, is the administrator access. So you can do basically anything on any resource inside AWS. Action is star and resource is star and effect is allow. As you can see here is administrator access. So this is the basic policy that your root account will have. If you want to create a user with administrator access, you just need to create a user and then attach this policy to the user, or create a role with this policy and then attach a role to the user. Let's now see Lambda full access policy. Again, this is managed by AWS, and as you can see here, the action block is longer, so it has like, you know, different services it allows by default. He has like CloudFormation with describe stacks with different actions, CloudWatch in order to write logs, EC2 in order to interact with, you know, EC2, IAM Policy in order to get policies, role, and also like list roles and attach policy based on the role. Lambda with the star, so basically you can do anything with Lambda. And then here other like AWS services like X-ray and states. I don't know where it is, but tag again. Oh, tag is of course to add tags. Resource star. So basically you can do this on any resource inside AWS. And here there are also like some more complicated policy with this role. Basically you can also add a condition on the policy. So in this case, this block is going to be used when this condition is met, meaning when IAM pass the service string equals to Lambda. So basically when Lambda is calling this service. Here is the last block is to be able for the Lambda function to create logs and to get logs. So here, as you can see, is logs star log groups AWS Lambda. Cool. So now we've seen a few examples on the policies. Let's now focus on exercises. All right, so now you have familiarized with the concept of IAM policies. Let's go through 3 JSON examples. The first one is a very simple one, is with 2 statements. And as you can see, the first one has effect allow. The action is called S3 list object v2. And the resource is an ARN with S3 and a bucket name, which is in this case is Enrico bucket. As you can see directly, the effect is allow and the action is on the AWS S3 service. So of course here is saying give permission to list the objects in this specific resource, which is Enrico bucket. Very simple. The second statement is quite similar, but in this case is on the objects of the file, or it's on the object of the bucket. And here the effect is again allow. Remember that here the effect can be allow or deny. In this case is allow. The action is S3 get object, so again straightforward. And the resource is Enrico bucket / star. The star symbol means in all the objects of the bucket. So in this case, this block means you're allowed to get object inside this bucket. So to call the get object API inside the this bucket specified on the resource block. Second JSON is like an advanced version of these ones that we have seen, where we use a wildcard again. And the effect is allow again. The resource is the action, is S3 column wildcard object. What does it mean? In the wildcard point, it means that all the API with that prefix and then object can be called using this policy, which will be get object, put object, and delete object, where inside the bucket name we specified. So again, the resource is bucket name / star. We've seen how this wildcard can help us to, create a read and write policy for the objects of one bucket. And again is star object, meaning get object, put object, and delete object are allowed by this policy. So let's change service now and go through another JSON file. In this case, we have a long block of action. And so let's start from the beginning. As always, the effect is allow. I think it's more useful to see the allow effect because deny is not super common usually on the IAM policies. And so effect is allow. Action is, I'm gonna get a few of them like dynamo get star, dynamo query, dynamo scan, DynamoDB, batch write, create table, delete, update star, delete star, put item. So again, here I'm using the wildcard in order to be able to specify more actions at the same time. Let's get the update star. Here it means update table, update item. With this policy, basically we have full access to a specific DynamoDB table, because if you check out the resource is arn AWS DynamoDB ** table / my table. So again, this policy gives read and write full access to a DynamoDB table. And now it's your turn. So here is gonna be your exercise, and I'm gonna give you a policy. It's the one that you see now on the screen. And you need to tell me on the comments of this video what this policy does, which services affect, and also which action can do. So remember always to break down the policy in effect, action, and resource. And pay attention because there are like two different statements here. So there is one for one service and one for another. And also another bonus point, if you can tell me also a use case where you will use this policy, meaning where you will use this policy and attach it to a service, for example, an EC2 instance, or where can you think about a use case where you will use this policy. Small hint is a serverless service. All right, so again, let me know in the comments I'll reply to all of you with this solution. And if you got it right, I'm gonna just give you like a thumbs up. All right, so we've seen what IAM service is, users, groups, roles, policies, and also we have gone through different examples. And remember to write me in the comments your task, your exercise. And I can't wait to see your answers. Thanks again for watching, and see you on the next video. Cheers.